Hello everyone and welcome to this video. It's fall and all of the trees' leaves have now all of these pretty colors, and today I want to paint some of those leaves. I went for a walk in the forest and picked up some leaves for this project. I made myself a nice cup of tea because this is going to be a long video. Feel free to get yourself something hot to drink as well in this cold, cozy weather. Here are all the leaves found in the forest, though I will only be painting 5 leaves today. If you are interested, tell me in the comments if you want to see me paint the 5 other leaves. We start with this little maple tree leaf. Now I have never painted leaves before, so this is a new thing for me as well. You can also see the more leaves I sketch, the more confident I get about it. This whole YouTube channel is about me and you who wants to get better at watercolor together. I am not a professional in watercolor, I'm just trying my best to have fun and make something creative. Now you can see I started sketching. I have taken the leaf and made a dot where the top of the 3 points of the leaf is, and then the stem and the bottom of where the fully leafed thing is. And then I connected the dots. Now I'm just trying to sketch. I am looking at the angle and just trying to get like some kind of feel about how this leaf is going to be. It's not perfect, I know that, but I think it's a good start. And you just need to try. There's no rush, no one's judging, you only get better when you try. Here I am soon finished with drawing this leaf. It's a little funky leaf, so I quite like it. It doesn't look like the real piece that much. It could have some adjustments, but I think I will leave it like this. Here I have taken my big yellow maple tree leaf and I am just making dots at the top of every point, stem, or what you call it. I know you You can't see it on the video, but I can see it in real life. It's just tiny little dots you can easily erase. So now I am connecting the dots to the main stem. Now, if you don't like sketching, you could just put the leaves up on the paper and trace it around. That's a very starter friendly, also kid friendly start. But I like sketching. I'm not a beginner when it comes to sketching. I'm a beginner when it comes to watercolor. I do know how to sketch. Still not on a professional level, but I'm better at sketching than I am at watercolor. Here I am just looking at my sketch and looking at the leaf and just trying to get the feel. And sometimes it's okay to erase it and start over. I really hope this is not too complicated. I tried to do kind of a tutorial, but still a video that you can follow, but I'm not really doing a tutorial of some kind because I've never tried this before, and I feel like to do a tutorial you have to be experienced in that area that you are making a tutorial of. So this is more kind of a follow along me kind of video and not a how-to video, but I'm not entirely sure. It could also be a how-to video. Now I have finally made the outline. Now I will put in some stronger lines so you can see it here on camera. Then I am looking at my leaf. It's a little bit difficult to see it on video, but the lines, the big lines, have smaller lines connecting the big leaves together. And that is what I am drawing in here. Now that is done. Now this is a red maple tree leaf, and I again start making dots at the top of every point and at the top and bottom of the stem, and I brush off the little kind of dirt that was on the leaf because I just got it that morning and it's a little bit dirty. Here I am just again connecting it, all the dots. Now looking at this, I can see that I should have made the lines just a tiny bit stronger, but you can kinda see it. Here I am trying to get the points right. I am just going back and forth looking at my sketch and at the leaf I am looking at and trying to get the angles of the points right. Remember to stay hydrated. Here I am starting at the bottom of the leaf and trying to do this side. It can be a little bit difficult to get all the bits and bobs right. Here I have actually no idea what I'm doing. I'm just trying. here I am making the bigger stem line stronger, and then I am connecting the smaller lines out. I have actually no idea what they're called. I just call them smaller lines. Do they actually have a name? I don't know. If you know if those lines, you know, the ones I'm drawing there, if they have a name, please tell me in the comments, because I have no idea. Now it's okay for the lines not to be perfect. They are just there so you know where to draw, to paint the lines when we do a watercolor layer on top of it. So it's okay if you are not completely happy with it, because you can change it at the start of when you do the watercolor. There we go. I think we are about done with this sketching leaf. Yeah. This is a field maple tree leaf. So now you see I put my cup at the top corner, and I will move it because my hand can't fit there. Otherwise I will tip over my cup of tea, and that will be a scandal. Here I am I made the dots before, and now I am connecting the dots. I know I might repeat myself here, but that is because I am making timestamps in this video, if I can figure out how. So people might skip to this point, so they might not have seen me sketch the other 3 leaves, so they might not have known the techniques I've used there. So that's why I am explaining it again. I put the leaves on the paper, made the dots at every stem and the top corner of every part of the leaves, and now I am just connecting the dots to get like some kind of structured leaf thing. It kinda looks like a dragon wing. Maybe I should paint a dragon. I have no idea. I have actually painted a dragon before, not for a recording video, but just for fun. Maybe I should do that again, even though I am more focused on like nature watercolor painting and like the things I do in my daily life and things that I am interested in. But maybe I should do that because I do like dragons. Here I am actually trying to put the leaves on top of my drawing and actually use it. Okay, I'm not using it right now, but I will be using it to trace the right part of the leaf. There we go. Now I'm trying to trace it over, and I actually ended up erasing some of it again because it didn't fit with the part I already made. So that's just adjustments you do. I probably could have made it 100% sure, but then it wouldn't be like watch me try to do this kind of video. It would be more like this is how you do it, and I have no idea what I'm doing. So that would be false advertising. Here I am trying to copy the other side, the left side, but you can't really copy it because the leaf I'm painting from is not symmetrical. It's a leaf, it's a fall leaf, so it has a lift it stays, and I actually picked it up from the ground if you saw the start of the video. Looking at this, I never noticed how close the field maple leaf and the yellow maple leaf actually is together on the paper. I'd never noticed that they like almost touch each other. But I'm not here to complain. This is actually my favorite leaf out of all of the leaves I sketch and painted, and that is because it looks the most realistic. Here I am making the little stems inside of the leaf. There we go. Now this is a common oak tree leaf, and I am making the dots. These dots are very you can actually see them, kind of dots, and I am connecting it. See, now on this leaf, I think some little bugs have eaten the top of it, so I actually decided to draw the whole leaf without it being eaten. And here I am just trying to trace the curves on the leaf, and you just have to try with this. There is no right or wrong way to do this. You could, of course, if you actually have the leaf with you, you could put the leaves on top of the paper and then trace it around. If you are looking at a picture of it, then you can either take the picture and lay it on top of a phone screen or tablet or computer and then trace it like that. There's a lot of ways. My favorite way is the way I'm doing it here, is just looking at something and then just trying, because then you get your own funky little shapes that make it personal. I had really trouble finding out where I was supposed to lay this leaf, because I'm drawing at the top of the paper and you guys need to see the leaf, and I also need to see the leaf, but at the same time I need it close to me so I could follow the leaf's curves. It was a whole ordeal. It was actually a little difficult, but I made it work. And I actually ended up laying it above here. Now I know that when I remove this leaf and lay it compared to it, it's the real leaf is wider and a little bit chunky. that's you can't call a leaf chunk. It's a big leaf. It's wider than my drawing of it. But I don't think it's a bad thing. But it's not, well, a leaf like my sketch is probably realistic. It's just not this leaf, so I don't get how I got my sketch to look like the leaf when the leaf doesn't look like the sketch. But I don't know, I think it looks good. I kept it. Here I got confused because I thought I missed a bump, like the little bump outs on the leaves. So you will see me be really confused on what to do. I am thinking, can you tell how much I'm thinking? And then I lay the leaves on top of it and it fits, it has all the right bumps, and I just, how does that work? And I figured it out at the end. which is a good thing that I figured it out. And there we go. See, now this is just me being very proud of the way I sketched these leaves. I'm a little bit selfish on that point, but that's okay. It's okay to be proud. Here, it's actually the next day. That's why the leaves looks dry. That is because they are. Here, I am painting this little maple tree leaf. I am filling it in with some clean water, so the area in the leaf I'm going to paint is wet. Then I will take some orange. How do you pronounce that? Can you tell I'm a non-English speaking person? I don't know. But I will put this orange/yellowish color. I have no idea what the color name is, but it's very pretty, and I put it on. And I just fill out the shape. Here, I know you can't see it, but I'm taking a brown color and I am just dabbing it on the leaf, mixing it with some clean water on my brush to blend it in. Here I am taking some more pigmented brown and drawing in my stem. And it's okay that the color blend out here. Now I watched a tutorial video from Kristin van Leuven. I am not sure if I pronounced that correctly. I am so sorry. I will link the video I watched from her down at the description, but I couldn't figure out how she did that, so I found my own way to do it. And here you can see that I'm trying and that the color blend out, so I let it dry for just a tiny bit And then I took some very heavy pigmented watercolor and drew in the stems. Now it looks a little bit aggressive and a bit much probably, but when you take, it's still wet by the way, so when you take some more of this orangey yellow watercolor and just dab it on there, the color from the stem kind of blends together and it kind of fades, and it looks quite good, I think. Here I am taking my size 1 brush. The other brush I use is a size 4 round brush. This size 1 brush, I just take some light watery brown and I just dab it around the edge to get that kind of fall leaf, but the kind of texture that it's a leaf that has fallen off and has started to dry up. Here I am just cleaning up the edges with my paintbrush here. And now I am finished. Okay, so this is the yellow maple tree leaf. And I am doing this again to the people that just skipped to this part. The reason why the leaf is a different color than that is because this is the next day, so the leaf has dried up. I am wetting the paper in the area that I'm going to paint with my paint brush and some clean water, or water, however you pronounce it. And that is because we are going to do a wet on wet technique. And now I'm just dabbing some yellow/orange paint onto this and just filling out the shape. that I have filled out the shape with my base color, a very thin layer base color. Now I am adding some light brown for some texture and some depth into this leaf. And I'm just dabbing the paint on there, and then it flows out because the area that I'm painting on is wet. And making the yellow color stronger by adding some more pigments to the mixture. Here I am adding some brown watercolor to the lines, the stems of the leaf and around the edges to get it kind of a dry 3D version of the leaf. Here I am switching to my thin brush, my size 1 round brush, and I am making the stem, the bottom of the leaf, the thing you hold with, and I am dragging the color through the wet area and out to each corner to get a more 3D dimension, I think. Now I have made the stems, the lines inside the leaf. I am taking my brown thin mixture and dabbing it onto my painting of the leaf. I dab it on around the edges and a little bit in the middle around where the lines of the brown is, to kind of drag that out and blend it more in with the yellow. Now I am taking my little brush again, and I am taking my brown mixture and dragging that around the edge of the leaf to kind of sharpen the points, because on the leaves it's very sharp corners and I kind of want to mimic that. And I am here using my pinky to kind of support my hand when I am making these fine details. So this here is a field maple tree leaf, and I will start doing the same thing I have done with the other two leaves. I started with wetting the area. I'm going to paint with some clean water, or water. I don't know, and that is your personal preference how you would pronounce it. I learned to say both things in school when I learned English, so that's why I'm probably speaking in a mixture of like English from England and English from America. It's like a combination. I'm apologizing if anyone finds my speaking confusing. Here I am starting with a thin layer of yellow. Now this leaf is both yellow and green, and I gotta figure out how to blend those two colors together without making it look mushy. And because usually when you blend yellow and green you get like a brownish mixture, and I didn't want that because on the leaf it's what's it called? It's called Nothing is Brown on the Leaf. That's right. It's not that brown. It's the reason why it's a different color when I sketched it to now is because it's the next day. So that's why the leaf looks dry. That is because it is dry. Now I took some dark green and I blended it up with the yellow, and I'm just dabbing it on the wet piece of paper where I haven't painted yellow yet, to kind of emerge these two colors together. Here I am taking some more pigmented yellow and dabbing it on the drawing of the leaf, painting of the leaf, and kind of blends that in with the green. Now this leaf looks quite yellow, so I'm going to get a more pigmented green as well, but I still mix it up with the yellow. And I'm just dabbing it on. And I don't say stabbing, I mean dabbing, like dabbing the paint onto the paper. I'm sorry if you think I stab it. I don't. I dab it. Here I am taking some more pigmented green, and here on this right part of the leaf I figured that there was too much paint on it. I think. Is that now? It's not now. I'm going to remove some of the paint because it looks very wet on the right side. But apparently that is not now. Now I do it. I just take my paintbrush and kind of try to pick up the paint and dab it off on my piece of kitchen towel. And then I fill in the green spots. Now I am taking my size 1 round brush. The other one was a size 4 round brush. I take my size 1 round brush with some heavy pigmented brown paint and I make in the stem, and it kind of curves because it curves in the leaf. It's just not as long as on the original leaf because it will interrupt with the little maple tree leaf. Here I am removing more paint. I apparently got way too much paint on here. Well, water paint. It's called watercolor, not water paint. I am so tired. I just woke up. Here I am trying to fill in the stems, and I play a little around with the amount of pigments I need to use. And I ended up almost going full on pigment because otherwise it would blend in immediately with the rest of the leaf. I know it might look a little bit much at now, but it will become better. Here I am taking my thin brown mixture and I am dabbing it on the sides, the edges of the leaf, and while I'm doing that I am grabbing those big dots with pigments and kind of blends it out. Now here you can see that I actually filled in the other leaf, the oak tree leaf, and that's because that is the leaf I'm going to paint next, but I realized that I forgot to clean up the edges of this leaf, so that's why I just pop that clip in here, and now you get a little sneak peek of what the next leaf is going to look like, except half of that leaf painting process, you can barely see it because of the light shining. So about halfway through that clip of me painting that leaf, I will realize the light is weird, and then I will adjust it. But there will be a part here at the start of it where the light is a little weird, where you can't really see it. Now here I am dabbing on my clean water in the area of the leaf I want to paint, which is the whole leaf. And I am doing this because we are going to do a wet on wet technique. Now, if you didn't hear me in the first part of this voiceover, I know that the light shining on this leaf is very annoying. You can barely see it half the time. I will adjust the light at some point, but here in the first part it's really difficult, and I am so sorry for that. Here I am just painting my base color with a very light layer of light brown on top of the whole leaf. I know you can barely see it. I am still so sorry. It's really frustrating that the light was going to hit that way over the entire leaf. But I can just hopefully save this painting process by explaining to you what I'm doing. Here I am taking a little bit more pigmented brown and just layering in the middle of it. And then I thought this leaf needs some color. So I took this very deep magenta color and I just painted the whole leaf with it. I thought it looked very nice with this color. Here I am very lightly painting in the stems. I should do a more pigmented one later on. Here I am dabbing on some more this brownish magenta color at the edges to get it like this nice crispy leaf texture, I think. And again, if you are wondering why the leaf is different from the when I sketched it, that is because this is recorded the day after I sketched it. Oh, there, I'm adjusting the light. Thank God. I painted this the day after I sketched it, so that's why the leaf looks dried. Here I am painting in the stems with a very heavy pigmented brown color. I almost take it directly from my palette and I just drag it out from the middle out to the edge. And don't worry about the thick heavy dots at the edges, we will remove that after we have painted this in. Did I say this was a common oak tree leaf? I can't remember. I'm just thinking when I started this, I think I was so occupied with talking about the lights of this painting that I forgot to introduce what kind of leaf it was. It's a common oak tree leaf, and you can, at the start of this video, you can see all of the leaves I found and all of the names. Here I am taking my thin brown mixture, dabbing it around the side, kind of grabbing these heavy dots of pigments that you made before. Well, I made before. And now I am taking my smaller brush. Yeah, I know that was too much pigment. That was way too much pigment. I am trying to smooth it out here. And then that is done. Now we are going on to the last leaf. This is a red maple tree leaf. I am starting with wetting the area that I'm going to paint with some clean water. Now I am taking a kind of reddish magenta color and mixing it in with my brown because I wanted you guys to see me mix the colors. And I just fill in the basic color. Here I am taking some more darker pigmented magenta and just dabbing it on here. drawing up the middle of the leaf. I am also taking some yellow to kind of mimic that yellowish line you can see on the leaf. Here, I know you can't see it, but oh, I changed the location. I started mixing in my brown paint again because I kind of replaced that with my magenta color. Here I am thinking. Can you tell I'm thinking? It's a little funny to watch myself in the progress, because usually I speed up my videos, but here it's slow, and that's why the video is so long. And it usually takes me about 1 to 1.5 hours of me just painting, but when I speed it up, it doesn't last that long. It's usually about 10 minutes to 15 minutes. So this is a long video to edit, and that is why I will only do the 5 other leaves if you guys are interested in it, because this is a long video to edit and make. Here I am filling in the stems with some heavy brown mixture pigments. Don't worry about the dots on the outer line. I will remove that with my paintbrush. And I'm just dabbing some pigment on here. Here I am trying to fix it because I don't like it. And I'm trying to get some brown into this leaf to get that leafy vibe. But it's a little bit difficult to see because the leaf is red and brown is also some kind of reddish warm color. Here I am cleaning up the edges with my little, I was going to say toothbrush. It's not a toothbrush, it's a paintbrush. And my hand is kinda in the way. I'm sorry, but cleaning up the edges is just taking my little paintbrush, and sharpening up the edges. Here I am making the stems clearer with some more pigments. Here I am taking some yellow and mixing it with my magenta color and just dabbing it on there for some light and for some contrast. Now this leaf I probably overdid a little bit, much, but that's how it is. Sometimes we overwork watercolor things, and I know I'm not supposed to, because watercolor is not supposed to be overworked. It's supposed to be kept simple, and that is a experience that I have learned from this. And you can also see I did not like this side, so I just took my kitchen towel, put it on there, and started over with this side. Now if you are following this as a tutorial, you don't have to redo this side if you actually like the version that you have painted yourself. And here I am just fixing the other side. And now we are very close to the end of this painting process with this leaf and with this entire video. So here are the final results.